I loved it. I mean, I had no problems or anything like that. Some of the girls I went to school with I'm still friends with in kindergarten. So, and they mostly lived in Ainslie or Turner or Reed. So it was nice. I would ride my bike to school. My sister told me the other night that she used to ride her bike and leave it at Nanny's house in Torrens Street, but I don't remember doing that. I remember popping in after school sometimes. It only took 5 minutes to get there because there was no traffic or anything like that. So, and the school wasn't, the Catholic Girls' High School wasn't there then, so you could sort of ride your bike across the paddock behind the church.
So I had been to the Ainslie Public School for 3 years, and then my mother thought it a good idea to go to St Pat's, and went there to make my first communion, and stayed on, and then went to St Christopher's for high school. I can remember the first weeks, I suppose. I think it was winter, and we had little pot stoves in every classroom for warmth. And the nuns were great, I thought they were. But Sister Bernadette, who taught 6th grade, I thought she was fantastic. And look, it was a great school for those days, yes.
Here's a picture of it in 1960, and it's not that much different to what it was in 1946 when I first started. And that big tree's down there, and that big tree has particular memories for me because I was playing under that tree one day, like others were, and one of my best mates was in the group playing with me, and the lunchtime bell went to go back to resume classes. And I don't know whether I'd had an argument with this bloke or not just prior to that, but for some reason I picked up a rock and threw it at him, and as he was running up the hill, and it hit him on the head. And I took one look at this kid, and I just turned tail and headed for home. Run all the way home, which was only just across the road. Raced inside and grabbed my mother's skirts and hid behind him and said, "Save me, save me, Sister's going to kill me." And Mum said, "I don't think she'll kill you, but you better go back, you've got to go back." So she took me back to school. And on the way back to school, the priest was coming, one of the priests was coming down through the playground, and we met him. And then the sister came out looking very stern and fearsome. And the priest said, "Sister, you wouldn't kill a little boy, would you?" And she didn't. But anyway, I've survived that incident and a few others too. And went on to make my first confession, and I think I already had my first sin to confess. I didn't have to examine my conscience at all.
One day we used to play in a local rugby union competition between the schools, and we were a very small school. St Christopher's, the other Catholic school, was bigger, and also the grammar school had teams in it, the Canberra Ainslie Public School, and that was about all. But we used to get flogged nearly used to play Friday afternoon. Anyhow, one day we ended up winning the game. We beat Grammar School on the Oval, Northbourne Oval, which is now where the Raiders have got their big show there. We'd go over there and play our game. That was our home ground. Beautiful ground too. Anyhow, the nuns, I think they brought all the kids out that didn't play in the game to give us a clap for a reception. And that was good because I was very keen on sport, and I think that was a great achievement.
What do I remember of St Pat's? Well, I was always there because Mum ran the tack shop. So she ran the tuck shop every day. I remember that big tree right down the back. I thought it was monstrous then, but when I drive past now, it's not really that big. We used to play down the back, you'd get the long grass and tie it together and hope the kids would run along and trip on it and go for a sixer. I only remember one nun, Sister Mary Theophane. She must have just come out of the novitiate to teach. She was a gentle soul.
We were a particularly special class because in 1953 the school was to that time carrying us through the junior school, that's to the 6th grade, and then those who went into secondary would go to St Christopher's. But in '54 the St Edmunds was launched, so that class, including Ray, we transformed afresh to this other lot. The boys that were older than us at St Pat's had left and gone for started their secondary in St Christopher's. And in my case, I picked up a sport that some of them were playing, which was hockey. And when we got to St Edmunds, there was an interest to play rugby union. The boys had to go and bargain for the brothers to support them in that sport, which they did.
Actually, you'll be surprised because it's got 90 years of history behind it. And so, yes, I'm very hopeful, and I think we could not only hope, I'm very sure we could reach the centenary, but also beyond that. And thanks to those people who have shared their insights, their viewpoints, because we, like the philosophers would say, we stand on the shoulders of giants. So thanks to the past, but we really are very hopeful for the future. And it's not just a hope that is based on figments of imaginations, but this is really a hope that is based on realistic and the real situation that we will find at St. Pat's.